Paul C. Leaman was born in McCuneville, Ohio on February 10, 1929, to Glenn and Anna Leaman. He attended Apostolic Bible Institute, where he sang in the ABI Quartet with Wendell and Orrin Gleason. While at ABI, he met Alice Anderson, the young lady who would become his wife. Paul's time at ABI ended when he became the pastor of a church in New Straitsville, Ohio. He was only 19 at the time. Paul and Alice were married on September 25, 1949. In the early years of their marriage, the couple helped Paul's father, Glenn, plant at least 5 churches in southern Ohio. Paul and Alice also planted a church in Jackson, Ohio. God eventually placed a burden on the couple's heart for Detroit, Michigan, and the Leamans relocated there in 1960 to assume the pastorate of the Apostolic Church. The following year, Paul Leaman's fellow ministers elected him to serve as presbyter of Section 1 of the Michigan District, a position he held until 1975. While in Detroit, he also opened a youth redemption center dedicated to helping recovering addicts. The Apostolic Church grew steadily during this season and soon became a thriving multicultural congregation. They established daughter works, including a Spanish-language congregation, throughout the 1960s. Paul and Alice Leaman helped ensure the success of these new works by seeding them with spiritually mature members of the Mother Church. The Apostolic Church expressed its pastor's burden for missions with generous financial support for both UPCI foreign missions, now known as global missions, and home missions, now known as North American missions. The congregation was often ranked in the top 10 in giving to both ministries among UPC churches nationwide. In addition, 2 of the church's youth pastors became overseas missionaries during Paul Leaman's time as pastor. Leaman was appointed to serve on the Foreign Missions Board in 1971. During that time, he was personally instrumental in presenting several missionary applicants to the board. In 1975, Foreign Missions leadership offered him an appointment as regional field supervisor for Central and South America and the Caribbean. This required the Leaman family to resign the church in Detroit and relocate to Costa Rica. As a regional field supervisor, Paul Leaman was responsible for ministering to more than 50 missionary families who were scattered across Central and South America. This required extensive travel, forcing Leaman to be away from his family for months at a time. The missionary families appreciated his sacrifice and grew to love him. Many referred to him as the gentle giant, a testament to his sizable stature and humble spirit. He was known as a patient listener and wise counselor. He profoundly influenced many missionary children, and the Leamans have received many expressions of gratitude for their family's sacrifice. The Leamans lived in Costa Rica for 9 years before Paul was elected pastor of Saginaw Valley United Pentecostal Church in Birch Run, Michigan. He soon became the presbyter of Section 6 of the Michigan District and, not long afterward, district superintendent. He eventually was chosen to serve as an executive presbyter for the UPCI. As a member of the UPCI General Board, he became known for his ability to break out singing with just the right song for the moment. Paul Leaman was an anointed speaker and talented singer, but his most impactful gift was his ability to inspire and encourage others. Because of this, he became known as the pastor's pastor. He was considered a father in the gospel to several UPCI ministers, including James Merrick. Leaman was only 65 when he died of complications from a bone marrow disease. At the funeral, the church was packed with friends and fellow ministers who came to show their love and respect for Paul Leaman and his family. During the funeral service, many prominent ministers and leaders offered praise for Leaman's life and ministry. Former Foreign Missions Director T.F. Tenney described him as the epitome of Christianity. Missionary Derry Crosley echoed this sentiment, noting that Leaman was a Christian gentleman. "We feel privileged to have known him and shared so many rich experiences together," said Crosley. Former UPCI General Superintendent Stanley Chambers remarked, "Paul Leaman was a Christian prince of rare quality who lived and devoted his life to ordinary people." J.R. Blackshear recalled, "Paul Leaman was like a big brother to me. I looked to him for strength, guidance, and stability." The Leaman's 5 children, Linda, Keith, Bruce, Neil, and Kevin, followed in their parents' footsteps. 3 of their sons eventually became credentialed ministers with the United Pentecostal Church International, and 1 son and his family have served at UPCI World Headquarters for more than 40 years. The Leaman's grandchildren and great-grandchildren also continue the family legacy of service to God's kingdom.